I study youth trends and what's next for a living. Here's what caught my eye today. The New York Times wrote about the Aura farming kit. If you somehow missed this on your own FYP, basically an 11-year-old Indonesian boy has gone extremely viral for his very rizzed up dance moves. Thousands of people have added their own riffs to the dance. Even Travis Kelce, whose video got more than 14 million views. This trend has propelled the term aura farming into the mainstream consciousness. So if your mom or even your grandma starts using this term, it's because the New York Times has covered it. Meanwhile, Gen Alpha is voluntarily stepping back from screen time. The number of 12 to 15-year-olds who say they take breaks from screens, which means smartphones, computers, iPads, etc., is now 40%, an 18% increase since 2022. They don't define what break is, whether it's taking a month off or an hour off, but still, it's interesting data. The article also mentions that 24% of Gen Zers delete apps for mental health, and nearly half of 16 to 24-year-olds now silence notifications. One expert calls it an act of rebellion, as teens increasingly reject the idea that growing up online is inevitable. Though, isn't it? Meanwhile, on TikTok, Gen Zers have entered their, quote, unemployment eras. Just last year, the de facto labor trend was all about quiet quitting. Now it's all about unemployed girl summer. Gen Z, of course, is finding the humor in it, as they are wont to do. One creator who has submitted more than 700 applications and has had more than 30 job interviews went viral for joking that she spends half of her day on LinkedIn and the other half looking for a Waymo to run her over. Broader labor data reflects this shift. Long-term unemployment is at its highest since 2021, with many job seekers stuck for over 6 months. But the job market isn't doom and gloom for everyone. Over on Wall Street, it's Hunger Games, with private equity firms trying to poach young analysts from banks before many of these young analysts even start their jobs at said banks. Starting salaries in private equity can top $300,000 for kids that have never even worked. But the banks are pushing back. JP Morgan Chase threatens to fire analysts who accept offers within their first 18 months. But if they're getting $300,000 salaries from private equity, I don't think they care about being fired by JP Morgan Chase. Despite 60% of Gen Zers earning under $50K annually, obviously not the private equity analyst, this generation averages 3 leisure trips a year by using spreadsheets, loyalty points, and off-peak deals to maximize their money. The Guardian calls it soft saving, where basically they're strategically spending. The real takeaway here is the travel expert that says Gen Z looks at value. For them, it's not a price tag. I think this neatly sums up Gen Z's mindset when it comes to spending: value over price. You can read all of this and more in my newsletter today, including my very favorite TikTok, which is about, of course, Bieber's comeback. We finally did it.